In Japanese culture, Ronin refers to a masterless samurai, often seen wandering alone. The perception of a Ronin has varied over time. Generally, being a Ronin was seen as a failure, especially since it usually meant forgoing seppuku, a Japanese ritual suicide to reclaim honor after a defeat. Those who avoided seppuku were often viewed as dishonored outcasts. Some Ronin found work as mercenaries or bodyguards, while others turned to criminality. Miyamoto Musashi, one of the most legendary Ronins, is recognized as Japan's greatest swordsman, having remained undefeated in over 60 duels. His journey as a Ronin began after surviving the Battle of Sekigahara while serving under General Hideyori. Musashi was not just a swordsman, he was also a philosopher, artist, and a cunning Buddhist. He left behind 21 principles for solitary living in his work Dokodo, written shortly before his death. These principles, timeless in their wisdom, continue to inspire even in an era long after the age of samurais. This series explores Musashi's Dokodo, offering perspectives and interpretations for contemporary living. 1. Accept everything just as it is. In his treatise, The Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi describes the warrior's path through fencing, emphasizing a life of continuous practice. From a Buddhist perspective, effective practice begins with accepting the present moment just as it is. Improvement starts from the willingness to be a novice. This is reflected in meditation, where accepting the current state is crucial for mental fortification. Musashi also believed that a warrior should wholeheartedly accept death, an inevitable part of life, and a means to preserve honor in traditional Japanese culture. This may seem extreme, but it underscores the importance of accepting death as a natural part of life. Practices like corpse meditation in Buddhism reinforce this acceptance. For a Ronin like Musashi, navigating life without the support of a master or school, thriving on this solitary path required embracing his solitude. 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Despite his Ronin status, Musashi prioritized virtue over pleasure. He chose to evolve spiritually and perfect his art of the long sword, often placing the greater good before personal pleasure. Pleasure, ideally, should accompany the pursuit of virtue. While the meaning of virtue has evolved over time, it can be distinguished from the pursuit of pleasure, which chases sensory gratification for selfish reasons. Musashi's view on pleasure aligns with Stoic and Buddhist philosophies, which advocate for sensory restraint. For instance, Epictetus argued that abstaining from pleasure yields greater long-term rewards than succumbing to it. Buddhism regards sensual pleasure as merely temporary relief, which worsens if indulged. For a Ronin, avoiding the pursuit of pleasure is crucial, as giving in to it can lead to entanglement in harmful worldly distractions, hindering deeper spiritual growth. 3. Never depend on a partial feeling. Emotions, while indicative of internal processes, can be unreliable for decision-making. Often based on irrational thoughts, they present a distorted reality. As a result, emotions are partial and incomplete, leading to potentially erroneous actions. A more reliable approach involves rational thinking, logic, and reasoned evaluation, along with a clear observation of one's own emotional state. When emotions like anger or fear dominate, it is prudent to pause and allow for mental clarity before reevaluating the situation. Mental clarity is crucial for making sound decisions, particularly in high-risk scenarios. 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Musashi, mortal and humble, was aware of his smallness compared to the broader world and his desire to contribute to the greater good. Recognizing our relative insignificance fosters humility. While our existence has inherent value, our absence would not halt the progression of the world. Compared to the universe, our importance diminishes, underscoring our reliance on the larger system. A Ronin, facing the world alone, would have understood this, realizing his smallness and vulnerability. It is beneficial to occasionally view our existence in perspective, understanding our place in the world without overestimating our importance. 5. Remain detached from desire your whole life. Desire and aversion are two sides of the same coin, with aversion essentially being a desire to avoid certain experiences. Relying on external factors for happiness is precarious, as these are often uncontrollable. Stoicism and Buddhism regard attachment or desire as the root of suffering. Musashi advocated for finding strength and fulfillment within, rather than seeking external sources. He believed that everything necessary for improvement and happiness exists within oneself, emphasizing self-sufficiency over external dependencies. 6. Do not regret what you have done. Regret focuses on past actions with remorse, but dwelling excessively on the past can be counterproductive. Recognizing that each decision contributes to our growth and understanding is crucial. Learning from past experiences and applying this knowledge to future decisions is more beneficial than being caught up in regret. Each action taken is part of one's journey, shaping the individual and their path. Accepting each decision as a necessary component of our development fosters a sense of acceptance and prevents stagnation. 7. Never be jealous. As a Ronin facing the world alone, Musashi would have been familiar with feelings of envy, especially when lacking material possessions and social connections. Envy stems from the desire to have what others possess, which often leads to resentment. For a Ronin, such feelings are an unnecessary burden, detracting attention from one's own path and actions. Ronin benefit from focusing on their journey, avoiding comparisons and resentments. These first 7 principles of Miyamoto Musashi's Dokodo set the stage for the exploration of his teachings in this 3-part series. Thank you for joining this exploration of Miyamoto Musashi's enduring principles from his Dokodo. As we delve into the wisdom of the past, it's worth noting that content like this, rich in historical perspective and philosophical depth, is becoming increasingly rare in our fast-paced world. If you find value in these reflections on Musashi's timeless teachings and wish to see more content that translates the lessons of history into our modern lives, your support is crucial. A simple like and a thoughtful comment contribute greatly to keeping such discussions alive and thriving. Your participation not only helps the channel, but also contributes to a community that values depth, wisdom, and meaningful content. So if you've appreciated this journey into the world of a legendary samurai and philosopher, please show your support with a like and share your thoughts or insights in the comments. Each interaction helps to keep this enriching content available and vibrant for those who seek it. Thank you for being part of this journey and for helping to preserve the legacy of profound historical wisdom.